Boom, bing. Here we are. It's Sam and Yana. LocalSupport. We're going to do some programming. I was thinking, Yana, to propose. So, like, we did a session last week where you were driving and I was kind of giving you suggestions about what to do. I'm thinking of like maybe driving myself this time. I'm aware that in some ways the argument is that you learn more when you're driving. I'm also, though, kind of aware of kind of like the bigger picture of the project of just like moving things forward, and also that you want to kind of move on and put this feature down. So yeah, I thought maybe at least I might start driving, if that's all right.
Absolutely, yes, fine.
Good show. Okay, let's get the screen share in the house and pop it up.
I did what you told me to do, so I corrected the test and I renamed the service for the one that cooperates with Do It.
Yes, I saw. LocalSupport, and so let's just check out. And you can see my screen. Good. Oh, we're recording, so I should put this onto my screen over here, shouldn't I? Let's do that. Git pull like so. Right. Yes. And then I want to. Yes, I have. I fetched your repo earlier on. The other thing is maybe in the background, if you want to give me collaborator access on your LocalSupport repo, then maybe I'll just be able to push some things back up to your
sure
to your branch. And so the branch name is coming up shortly ago. This one. Okay, so I'm there. Let's just do this in the background. One of the things that I noticed was that quite a large number of additional files had been checked. Okay. We have interesting. That's quite a large number of additional files have been checked in the features. That's the wrong project.
Yeah, because of Billy.
Yeah, well, and in particular, that I was like, this is interesting that we're hitting like the API, the Do It, the Facebook, and so on. And I noticed that was a function of in the volunteer opportunities, Do It.
Yes.
Because
I changed it. I corrected it.
Okay.
You told me.
Yes.
It maybe again it's not perfect. It's just, but it's different now. Now it tests that there is a link.
Excellent. That's great. That's great. I think the situation we have now is that potentially those files that we don't need are still checked in. So they may need to be purged. But I guess that can be addressed separately. What we need to look at, what's the best way to do that? Probably be to run the test suite with we kind of want to roll back just that directory to
I can just manually delete this file and make a commit.
Yes. I mean, I think the important thing to do is not like we probably want to avoid deleting everything in the directory because that would force a lot of people to update. Maybe it'd be all right.
Do you think that this folder maybe should it be in git ignore or something, or?
Well, I think it's very important that it's not in git ignore because what the request cache folder is doing is there are situations in which are the normal running of the tests where we're going out to get stuff from Google Maps and so on. And what we very much don't want is we don't want when our CI or our tests run, we don't want to be hitting Google Maps or those other external services. And if we put that folder in git ignore, then what it means is in the CI, it won't have those files. And so when the CI runs, it'll mean every time the CI runs, it'll hit Google Maps and any other network connections that the browser makes. So I think it's kind of important that it's not in git ignore, and it's the kind of thing that I think it's quite valuable here, because the reason that I noticed in particular is it's like, oh, there's lots of Facebook requests in there. And we want to know what our tests are talking to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay. So what I can do, maybe I can delete on local the folder and then pull from develop.
Yeah, that'll be the way to go. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll do this after the session then.
Yeah. And I guess we shouldn't need to focus on that now. That's something that you can do independently. But yeah, so the main concern and the issue that we're thinking about is dealing with this dealing with this service. And so what I'm tempted to do is to try and make this, just pull everything into the service and make things happen. Let's just check that I've got a green baseline, and I have. So what I'm tempted to do is take let's just take this and bring it up here and have it and basically pull everything into the things like that. And then what I'm tempted to do here is just take the whole of this and bring it out into our service.
Okay.
Like so. So we've got its list volunteer opportunities. We've got there. I'm going to change that to with. I'm going to bring these other methods in here. The run method here. This one, what was this called previously? This method.
It was collect all items. It's the one that hits do it.
Yeah. So let's just have. We're not going to keep it on this name, but let's just push it back to being this. And then I'm going to have, we'll have a with method there, and that's going to take organizations. I'm just breaking in a new keyboard here. And so what I want to do, we can do, we're just doing new and then organizations. And I'll just remind myself, so the structure that I want to follow is as we've got it in the, I can't see the service. Oh, is it create proposed organization edit? Oh, that's the one. Yes, so we want self with passing on to new, and then we want to have things as private. That's the so I've done that right. And then I'm going to do send run on it. And so then actually this one is the high level operation.
Yeah.
That was the assemble one. Control X. Let's pull that back in here. We've got that relies on organizations, and so if we reconnect this back up, so that should be collect all items is pulling that out there. And list of markers, okay, and then we've also got build map markers in there. Yep, and so organizations, we could be just having an initialize method. So let's have, and we've got the, even following this thing. So we have that as private, and then we have def initialize, and we're going to have, and we're going to have organizations. And then we'll set the organization. Oops, that's the wrong key. Organize. And do stop me if at any point what I'm doing is not sort of making sense. And
okay.
Yeah. So anyway, in the first instance, I'm just trying to I'm copying this pattern that we have here for the structure of our service from this other example. So
I think they shouldn't be add on the line 10 on organizations.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and that's misspelled there. Okay. Yes. And then I'm going to have what order I put it? Let's have attributes. Reader. Like so. So now with that approach there, we shouldn't need organizations there. We shouldn't need it, that should now refer to the reader. We've got some other things going on. It's checking on the feature. Yes, and so this was, which was all in the service already, should still be okay. And then, so the big thing that we've got is we've got these, the map marker JSON. What's going on over here? So the map marker JSON itself is another service that we've got wrapping around GMap for Rails. So that seems okay. And then so the thing that we're gonna, this is the thing that John was not liking so much, was needing this render to string operation. And we've got a couple of other things. So these are like linking back. So what I'm tempted to do, so if we look here, we start that with listener. I'm going to pass in a reference to the I forgot what it's called now. A controller itself. So we'll send in their list of opportunities with self organizations, and then we'll have the listener in here, and also in here and here, like so, and I'll maybe add that here as well. So basically we're setting up all the necessary state for the listener, like that. So now in the first stage, I'm just gonna take this, and so these render to strings, I'm gonna call on the listener itself.
Okay.
Like that. And then this is, well, you know, we're using this as sort of a global operation, which is not ideal, but so sort of having done that, what I want to see really is whether that kind of like works at all, because I may well have, like, you know, screwed some things up or mucked them about. But we can certainly see that our volunteer ops controller is looking much leaner.
Yeah. But I just want to pay attention that build map markers, it's used in several other actions in this controller.
Okay. Right. So maybe it should be in its own separate service. I see. Yes, I've been overlooking that. Yes. Right. Yeah. So maybe would it be better? I mean, interestingly, these things that doesn't need. Well, the other way to go is to take the listener and call build map markers on the listener. I don't know that I like very much. I mean, I guess, yeah, we kind of had, maybe that will make our life simpler, because we were sort of talking about this refactoring and focusing on this thing and not worrying about the build map markers, which might make, yeah. So if we put that there as a public method, So these ones will still be able to refer to it, and we've got a listener to be able to deal with those, and then we've got the 3 bits and pieces in there. So yeah, I'm tempted to just sort of see if we can run the features volunteer opportunities, and is there a do that feature there, and see what breaks before setting up some. Ooh,
cool.
Don't do that so much. Yes. So that's I think that's very pleasing that we can see the features run there, that we know basically this is set up okay. And what I'm almost tempted to do there is actually run the entire set of feature tests to see if there's any associated problems that have any side effects of this refactoring. Because if there isn't, then that means that we can kind of maybe then wrap this in some unit tests and then refactor with impunity, which would be really nice. I guess there's also probably, in order to test this as a unit, it would make sense to be using dependency injection here. So at the moment, we're kind of locked to calling out to a particular service on a particular URI. Whereas we could be extracting that as a dependency, and then we can test just the operation of this, independently of independently of the network calls that are on the back of this. Did you create a spec for this service?
No, not yet. No.
Oh, no problem. Good. We can make one of those in an appropriate fashion. Right. Yes, and so the build map markers as well, that's running in the background. Yeah, so we call it in 2 situations. The flag there has, would we ever use that flag? I'm only seeing build map markers called in these 2 places. Oh no, right, and sorry, yes, sorry. I thought momentarily that was a hash there, but no, that's the 3.
Yeah.
That's the 3 parameters. So we're doing that there. Interesting. Yeah, and that's all green. Oh, I do like it when a refactoring goes that smoothly. So we could almost commit that, and since you haven't, what we almost might do is if we're going to have any see if there are any side effects on the rest of the unit tests as a result of doing that, and if there aren't, then we could sort of, I guess rather that we should commit it, and we should create a unit test to go with it, shouldn't we? Really. So we've got our, and we can have a look at our spec here. We've got the create proposed organization spec. So this is the sort of format that we can use. Let's go back to here. Yeah, well, everything all green. Oh, I like it when it's green. So we've got list volunteer opportunities, and it comes back with, and it gives us both. At the moment, it gives us a potentially unused do it orgs, and it also gives us some markers, doesn't it? Interesting. I mean, I think ultimately where we want to be is that, this one should be inside this service, but we won't do that yet. I think let's just sort of create this as so we'll have a new file here, and so this should be list volunteer opportunities spec.rb. Frontier opportunity. Yeah, I guess we have to put plural. Let's add that to Git. And so here, this should be describe list volunteer opportunities, do end. And we could even, we could just, if we run that there, will it still, I should have run the individual spec rather than everything, shouldn't I? Let's just stop. So what is this? This is a spec. And we're in services and we're listing them. Yes, and it doesn't, it's interesting that the specs don't automatically pull that in. So let's just copy what we did. Where's it gone? Create that one. So it's require dot, it's just require the app, isn't it? Okay. Require dot slash app. Services. Well, that let me just, well, and I think we're just going to do that. Yes. Okay. So I think that's always a great, sanity check of just like, are we hooked up to the, the system? So then our subject is going to be list on tier opportunities, and the format that we're going to, that often we test these services in, is we actually run the service itself. So we do list for opportunities dot with, and then it's going to be, we're going to have a listener and some organizations. And what we can do here is we can have our listener, which can just be a double in the first instance. Listener. And then we can also have our organizations. And I quite like just setting the things up as doubles and then playing the thing into the system and seeing what happens. I mean, I guess here it might be not a bad situation in which to kind of really look at the flow of the data through the system. I'm just going to go. Do I want to run one first? I don't know. It returns. We've got markers and orgs. I've got to have to resist the urge to, if this will almost certainly fail. Yes. Okay. Now I could be going through there, stubbing things out. Does everything that I've done there make sense?
Yeah.
There we go. If we felt really solid about the flow of data through here, then we could yes, we could just be sort of allowing it to, we could be stubbing and so on. But I'm just going to go, so the first thing we're doing is we're basically getting the Harrow markers together, and then we're setting the do it markers as an empty. Well, this is like a JSON. It's in JSON format, right? Yeah. And then so here we get all of those. Now I can immediately see here that kind of this is collect all items. We could almost just do a quick relabeling here. That shouldn't make any difference. I guess right. The danger with refactoring it at the moment is, we might screw things up. But I think this one is going to be pretty, like, basically we're just, this intermediate variable I think is not needed. So if we just here, oh no, it's the new keyboard. So if we just call that do it orgs there, we can lose that line. I'm fairly confident that shouldn't be creating a problem. and this is we're returning the set of markers. So we're getting a list of markers there. So we've basically got a merge operation. I mean, I'm just going to relabel this to say this is merge markers. Is what it's doing, and it's basically merging the markers according to how it needs to be merged in terms of JSON, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like so. So we've got merge JSON markers there. Yeah, basically does those things. This one, yeah, so it snips off. It takes off the last element, and then this one it takes off the first element.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right? Yes.
Yeah, it's just square brackets.
Yeah, and I guess if that's working, that's fine. Okay, so we've got this. Basically, if we have the feature, we kind of add these do it markers in. I guess pulling the logic apart here. Yeah, so we want to pass those two things back. We've got our markers. We kind of it sort of feels like there may be like an unnecessary flow through here. I mean, we've got the situation where, and I guess it's dangerous for me to be fiddling with it too much, but I'm just the thing that the itch that I want to scratch here is it feels like, you know, if we're going into this block here, we don't need to do this merge. Do you know what I mean? Because like we're setting it up if we're not going into this block,
yeah,
right, then we don't need to do this. So doesn't that sort of imply that we could take this and put it in here, and then we could just call this markers here. Do you know what I mean?
I think so. Yeah, probably.
Because yeah, and then I mean the do it markers might still be all this logic still applies. We need those. Those are the markers associated with the Harrow group, which, if they're, you know, yep, and the Harrow markers, yes. Oh, I know. So I'm gonna. It's a bit cheeky here and just run the cucumber features there. So that's all these things. You know, like they should be the same, but they might not be, and it's not. Undefined local variable. I've broken something. Undefined. Harrow markers. That. Well, actually, but maybe it's just that. Okay, so that's green. Yeah. I'm just gonna. Yeah, it shouldn't affect anything else. Yeah. So that was a tiny little clean there, and then this is, you know, we're getting our markers. If there's a feature, we get the do it markers, and then we merge them. Okay, and so that, you know, this method. I mean, I think the key thing that I'm looking for. I mean, it's still not as, you know, descriptive as we might want it to be, but I think it's getting better. But I guess the key issue really that we want to refactor to move forward is this do it orgs.
Yeah.
And I'm tempted now, before, what have we got? There's going to be listener and organizations. Yeah, and actually, so these two things that we interact, I think this can be. I shouldn't have run that. Oh, is there a failure there? Oh, no. a change in here shouldn't have had any. No, I wonder if that's just going to be a. I think we still have some occasional.
Yeah, it could be
JavaScript timing issues. But I think what I want to do going forward is start adding some things onto these, so the listener is going to receive build map markers. Okay, now what's happened there? So that's interesting. It's made the request somehow slightly differently, which was not my intention. And this is in volunteer opportunities in. No, that was. I thought I just ran volunteer opportunities. It's do it volunteer opportunities. But there's also list volunteer opportunities.
Yeah, it's Hero. It's all tests.
Okay. So that's a shame. Now the interesting question is, it's still. Now this has failed because it's made the request slightly differently, and let's have a little.
Is there a VCR tag on this test?
I assume there is.
Okay.
Oh, let's. Let's go and see it. It's the feature. Okay, right. So there's a pack of other. Right, so the do it one. There's the list one. 24 scenario. Actually, is it really 24? What's that getting stuck on? It is 24. There is no VCR thing in there. No, that's interesting. I wouldn't have thought that something that I had changed,
yeah,
latest thing, would cause. I mean, I guess if you go to the volunteer opportunities page, in general now it's going to hit these things. I wouldn't have thought that that was. Interesting. Oh, I hate that it changes the. Run the closest one if we don't get the number right. Okay. Okay, so maybe it just needs that. I'm surprised though that those ones were not. They weren't doing that.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that fixes it so quickly. And what's this one? There's feature 28 in the map volunteer opportunities. Does not have VCR on it. Why would
Yeah, it didn't need it before. Why does it need it now?
Yes.
As if feature is not working. So as if it makes a call to do it API.
Yeah. Even if.
I mean, feature flag is not working.
Yeah.
It seems like.
Which is strange, isn't it? Because we've still, we're only calling the, if feature active, then we do this. And so, yeah, for those other ones, the feature should be inactive, should it not?
It should be, yeah, because no one activated it.
Right.
So why is it tries to call do it?
Yeah, unless I've. I think I know what it is. I know what the change is. Yeah, so I've put in here do it orgs, but so
it's method now.
yeah, so basically, yeah, okay, so that's the problem, and actually, what I should do here is not add these things in. Right. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. So I just add that in here as well. Okay. Yes. So the point is, I guess, if the feature is active, then we want to return this. However, if it's not active, then the do it orgs was kind of it was this.
Will it return markers anyway if the feature is not active because we assign markers on the first line, which will be the last, or will it not? Will it evaluate the if statement if the feature is not active?
It will. I mean, what we could do here is we could have a kind of return.
Okay.
We could return, and rather than, do we want that? I don't know. It's got to be merged with those markers. That's the Harrow markers. No, I'm making a mess. I mean, basically, it's sort of, if the feature is inactive, it's that.
Yeah.
And then, so this ultimately, I mean, I'm getting sidetracked on this. I want to, but. So it could be this.
Mm-hmm.
Like so.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that I necessarily like very much, but anyway, that's. So this one should now not generate any VCR things, and it doesn't. Okay, let's go. Let's do this one. Yes, I mean, I think ultimately there's a bigger and there's a better refactoring here. Okay. Okay. So hopefully that will all be green if we're lucky.
Yeah. You maybe could check the features.
Yeah, I probably should have done that one first. I guess we'll just leave that running and hope that it works out. But so what we can, in order to make this test drive properly, we want the listener basically to be able to ignore these requests to build map markers, or even, I guess what we should really have here is we should be expecting the listener we can actually make them spies, couldn't we? We need to use some more spies more. And then that allows us to expect listener to have received. We can get rid of that funny ordering. Build map markers with organizations. Actually, no, but do we need them to? Oh, we can do this in the first instance. Let's go back over here. Looking pretty good. So if we can just trace. So we'll expect it to receive that. We can kind of stub it out. That's all green. I expect this. Look. Okay, so it can't. If we're testing it, it needs to know about the feature. I'm not very happy about that, but I guess do we have that as the, our features are a model. But I guess we could basically, we end up with a couple of contexts here, which is, let's just do the context. This is do it. I don't context on that. Is it context? Do it feature off. Do and so here we've got expect feature to receive what is it, active, and return false. So do we have to, I guess we could be passing that in as a double. It's a bit messy. Let's get the model feature.
Models.
Oops, thanks. Is it not? Oh, it's app models, isn't it? App. And then initially I've got active record. Now, where is it using? Oh, is that? And then we end up pulling everything in. So, yeah, okay, so feature ends up. So I guess what the way around this ends up being that we end up setting in here certain things like we're going to have the feature, and then we're also going to have interesting. We've got the HTTP party. So we've got HTTP party is basically a network. Well, I'm just thinking, what's a good word for HTTP party? I don't know. The HTTP party like that. There must be a better word for that. And set this like this. So what we want, I think, here is to, this is the dependency injection, right? So set it so that these things here in the normal operation get set to those, but we can make these for the purposes of the test. So we need a feature and an HTTP party. Should we call it HTTP ending, or it's a network layer request? I don't know. Anyway, so then let's feature double feature active We've got feature, expect feature, receive active and return false. And let's also have our HTTP. We should call it something other than party, but I can't look at what to call it. Any ideas of a good word for what it is?
No, not sure. I think if feature is not active, then it doesn't hit HTTP party, but yeah.
So I'm just doing the context here where it's okay. Undefined variable feature, and that means we need to push the. Yeah, these things need to come through as well. So feature HTTP party and okay, feature party, and then this has the nice side effect of kind of listing out all of the dependencies that our service has. Let's see what happens there. Yes. Okay. Yeah. And in this situation, we should be able to, as well here, we expect that, I think I might want to turn that back into a double, and rather than it's expected, let's allow the listener to receive build map markers, organizations, and we'll say and return markers. Let's call it arrow markers, and then we'll also have a little what we want to really check here of the data through the system. So we want to expect that the list of volunteer opportunities to equal arrow markers like that. I think is the stronger test there, and well, it's coming as an array, right? And so we actually get back that. Now we've got a test of the behavior with the do it feature off, which seems appropriate, doesn't it? And then yes, so I mean, I guess to here, I've kind of, I mean, we could like doing. You can kind of see what comes next, right? Yeah, is that we do for the do it feature on, and I sort of think, I mean, we still want to refactor this, but I sort of feel that the first part is to get these, statements in place.
Yeah.
That the first one is there.
I think I cannot hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Oh yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I was just saying, yeah, we kind of. I've probably got another 10 minutes before we need to go to the stand-up.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about what we've done so far?
Cool, pretty cool. Yeah, quite interesting to see how it happens. Maybe
Yeah,
it happens.
yeah. I'm just tempted to. I mean, in some ways, I had a feeling of kind of, oh, maybe I should, get you doing some of this, and then I'm thinking, I've got 10 minutes left. I mean,
Yeah,
the critical thing where I want to get to is I want to have these two, these setups here
yeah. I
as a
think
kind
I
of a
understand
go on.
everything that's happening, and yeah, there's a chance that I may even reproduce it, but not from the first try.
Sure, not a problem. So yeah, what I'm really going for here is where I want to do is ultimately get in and refactor this method, and there's a, I kind of want to tease out the data flow, to check, is it as complex as it, can it be simpler? But the key thing is to get a service in there where the service can what's the word? The service has tests that
Yeah.
wrap the necessary behaviors before we start trying to refactor it and accidentally breaking things and so on. So I'm just thinking, we've got here. So now the HTTP party has received the get message. So the HTTP there. So in this context, we've got this one. That still happens. These two end up being, we can extract that out into the for block here. Like that, because we need that in both situations. And then in this one, we basically want to allow the HTTP party to receive the get method. And then what we want to identify is, what's the simplest set of thing. I presume the simplest thing that it could conceivably return is just like this, right?
Yeah.
And so, oh no, what's coming back?
Oh, yeah, because it's response and there's some kind of structure.
So there needs to be, this needs to be a body that can return a string. So if we have a body and make that a double. I mean, it's kind of a response. Is it calling the method body on it? What's it? Yeah, it is. It's calling the method body. So that's actually, it's a response. And then we have a response there where the body is that. And you can see how I'm kind of, in order to try and move fast, I'm basically going through and I'm defining like the simplest cases. So I've defined here the even simpler one of the feature turned off. And then the feature turned on, let's deal with the absolute simplest thing to get that working as we kind of, and I'm always like exploring the way in which the system is working by putting test items in there, if that makes sense. Now, why hasn't that worked? We've got a double, that's right, context. Oh no, sorry, it should be left. So, okay, there we go. Right, and it's coming out, and it got that. Why has it got the do it false in it and so on? Oh, we got double listener received build map markers with unexpected arguments.
Yeah, it's 3 arguments. It's
okay, yeah. I mean, I guess we're just doing an allow anyway, so we can kind of, we don't want to be stubbing our internal things too much. So Hara markers, because in a way that's on the 56. Yeah, so it's now going in here, right? And so the merge operation is taking place, and it's getting stuck on there. Okay. And so the Harrow mark, I mean, that's a sort of situation where the Harrow markers would be better off just being a string, like the empty string, rather than anything else, wouldn't it? To allow it to, oh, that's interesting. It's got, so the thing that comes back from it, so we're currently going through it. It's coming in here. The do it markers, we're just giving it the, well, we're giving it the empty string. So these two things, they're both this. Why would, that's kind of odd. It's getting back an actual array rather than a string. Arrow markers there. That's what I'm expecting that. We're having HTTP receive get and returns, and the body gives that. Should it be nested somehow? So HTTP party gets, we get the response. We're kind of avoiding that whole chunk of code as a response there. Okay, that's interesting.
So,
see, we've got do it org is actually like an empty array here. I think is the problem there.
That's what it returns, yeah.
Yeah, so in fact, I think the problem is that actually it should be this. It's expecting an array, not a string array there. And if it's returning that in this instance, arrow markers,
okay.
Yeah, and it got that in the context of our on line 18. And that's because we've listed volunteer opportunities with listeners, organizations, feature, arrow markers. Why are the do it orgs coming back? So those do it orgs, that's because this is wrong.
It's a method.
I think this actually, there's a thing that would have blown up somewhere else. Yeah, because what it's supposed to do is that. Okay. Yes. So I think that's a good start there. I mean, there's basically then, you know, there's still kind of like a sequence of tests here to define the input and output where the response is more complex, right? And I guess, like, if we're going to properly plumb the depths of this thing, you've got other things like moving through and getting the next page. So I feel like there's, you know, there's here. This is the context of no ops found. And then this one's going to be like the one page of ops found. And then we've got here 2 page of ops. And we would need to have, you know, a proper data set in there for that to work. But I guess, because looking at the time, I'm tempted to wrap up there. We'll just pop out here. Oops, what am I doing? Let's I mean, what I would say is that in some ways we could possibly, you know, for in the back of my mind, it's all about, you know, you being able to put this down. I mean, you know, in some ways, having extracted this out to here and having got the volunteer ops controller down to this,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I think that's pretty solid. It's clear that we want to refactor this.
Yeah.
But that could be a separate chore that even you could put off if you don't want to get into it. I think that in terms of kind of like, you know, it's a private method. I mean, you know, it's smelly and ugly, but that's, you know, I think that the key thing is if we can define
Mm-hmm.
through this the set of behaviors that it needs to have, then that supports anybody who wants to do the refactoring of it later. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
What we've done here is, you know, we've got feature tests which define at the very top level how the system behaves, and by pulling this out into the service, we've kind of encapsulating that bit of logic. We've kind of separated that from the Rails framework and the way that the user happens to interact with it. And I think that's the key thing for the long-term maintainability of the system. That's all green there. Yeah. So I'm almost wondering, is having done that, do you think that it might be reasonable for you to carry on and do these two things, and then you could maybe draw a line under it?
Okay, I can try. Yeah, after the stand up, I'll give it a try. It's yeah, I'll give it a try. If I have questions, I will write you.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, if you get stuck, and it's not a big deal, because I think now we've got this framework in. You know, even if you get stuck on these, I can quickly. You know, I mean, there's sort of little ins and outs, but we know this works, and we know that it parses those things. So it's just, I mean, I can sort of tell with even not even looking at the test coverage, I can see that our current test is not. Basically, it's kind of it's this code is not being run yet.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that there shouldn't be too many surprises in there. In that, it'll just be a question of getting a couple of chunks of data. I mean, we may want to pull those, have them in like a fixture file. This kind of corresponds to what you were doing previously. You know, when you were using WebMock.
Yeah.
And so, you know, in the context of the unit test, we don't want to use WebMock, but we want that kind of data chunk that we pull in, and just make sure that we've got a test that exercises when this runs over it generates the right kind of output.
But so it means that I will take real data, I will kind of mock it somewhere, I'll put it to a file, and then I will use it in these two tests.
Yes.
Okay, I'll try to do that.
Yeah, and it can go into, have we got, we do have a fixtures, you know, that's a reasonable place for.
Okay, test fixtures.
Yeah.
Okay. Will it, okay, I'll check. Will it get it automatically, or should I require it?
Will it get it automatically, or, yeah, I mean, you may need to read the file or what have you. I mean, there are examples. If you search for these file names, you can see how they're called in others. We've just got one failing thing there, which is now, what's that from? I have a feeling that that is a JavaScript timing thing. What I'm going to do here, we've ended up with, because I don't think we need those untracked files. It's modified some of those. Okay. I'm going to do git, got that new file, git commit -am. And this is pulled more into list volunteer ops service and start on tests. That's on unit tests. Okay. And then git push origin, not origin, Yana. And what's the we in here? What's the What's your branch that this is on?
10 something, 10 and
10 refactors and no.
10, 8, 5, 2, and
I have Yana. 10, 8, 5. Git branch minus A. No, this one. Here we go.
yeah.
I wonder if does my commit operation work here? I may need to. I may need to just do a git checkout. There we go, and then no, I think I just lost that code. Oh no! Oh no! I have a feeling that I may have just lost that code.
No, but you committed somewhere, so.
I did, but I was in this. Oh no! Oh, kidding me! I was. Oh dear! What did I just do there? Because I was in this headed branch there.
Yeah.
And I did this checkout. I'd done this. Oh no! I think I may have just lost all that code. Oh no!
Oh,
Oh no! Because I was here, I did commit it, but that's the thing is I was in that what I should have done at the beginning. Oh, that's ridiculous. What I should have done at the beginning is I should have done this git checkout.
yeah.
And it's like warning: you are leaving one commit behind, not connected to any of your branches. If you want to keep them by creating this may be a good branch. Okay, hold on. Maybe I can fix it like this.
Yeah.
Aha. Can we figure it out? Git branch. I want it to call it this one. Let's put oops there. Right. Oh no, I think we can get it back. Can we get the code back? I hope we can get the code back. Oops. No. Ah! No, I've called it something ridiculous. Oops, oops, oops. S. Okay. Git checkout. Oh dear, I'm making such a mess. Okay, code back. Code back. Whew. Code is back. And then now I can do git push Yana there. No. Am I not on that one? Git. Oh, will that push my current thing? Let me do git check. I've got to do. Oh my goodness. Branch minus D. Let's just get rid of that one, and then git checkout minus B, that one, and then now. So here we have the code. The code is still there.
Yeah.
Yes, and then now. Yes. Okay.
Okay.
So, haha. So that should have now in here. Yeah. Some of that. So that's there for you to potentially continue working on. And I should shut this down and jump to the hangout. And maybe I'll see you in the stand-up. But
Yeah.
yeah.
See you soon.
Nice one. Thanks, Yana. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.